how are you and what's up? I hope everybody's doing well out there. Thank you for tuning in. If you have tuned in for the first time, welcome. This is the episode number 5 of my 2018 guitar collection video, little series that I made called Chronicle of a Serial Guitar Buyer. And then if you are returning, thank you for your time again. So in the episode 1, we took a look at my like a shredder guitars. In the episode 2, we took a look at my more metal centric guitars. And in episode 3, we looked at my single cut guitars. And the last episode, episode 4, we took a look at my double cut kind of Strat-y type of guitars. And today, in the final episode, I'm going to show you some guitars that you don't see every day, as well, and then just some of my acoustic guitars. So now that that's out of the way, so let's take a look at the guitars, huh? Boy, I'm noticing it's a little darker than other days. I hope the guitars will show up okay. All right, so as usual, we're going to go from the top to bottom. We're going to swing this way. I'll put the acoustics at the end so that those of you that are not interested in acoustics, you could just skip right over. All right, so way at the top over there, that's a guitar called Gibson Modern. So it's kind of like a semi-hollow, hollow body type of a vibe with the F holes on both sides, but it's very much like a tone of a solid body guitar. I got that thing used, and at the time I was really heavily into Chris Cornell, and he was showing up on guitar magazines with his, what is it, ES 355, 335, something like that, that he plays. So that's obviously not one of those, but it channels that vibe, and it has the like a Les Paul custom vibe with the block inlays, with if you look at the headstock, it's got the Gibson, the Gibson custom Les Paul, that sort of a headstock. So that's even though it's got F holes on the side and whatever, because of the nature of the build, it doesn't quite necessarily have that feedback associated with, often associated with semi-hollows and hollow bodies. Okay, so moving right over, that's a Keisel DC600 in multi-scale. So that's a, in case you're not familiar, Keisel is a custom shop where you could kind of spec out how your guitar should be. So you have to settle on their body design, and then you just kind of pick and choose what options you want. I noticed that they can't do everything you want because of some special reasons, and their shop's not capable of doing, or it takes them too much out of the way type of a situation. So they can't do everything that you could dream of. However, the range of customization is pretty wide. So that's a guitar I got. I really like the way that thing plays. I got the thin neck profile and 3-piece neck, and it's just a playability superb. And I was a little hesitant because a lot of people said it's a somewhat of a hit and miss when you order from Keisel, but luckily my guitar came with no issues, and that's really a pleasure to play. And it takes a little bit of getting used to playing multi-scale, but you eventually find home, and it kind of becomes a second nature. So that's just a banger of a guitar. And the orange burst didn't quite come out the way I wanted, but it's okay. I still like it. Okay, so the one guitar right next to it, that's definitely something you're not going to see every day. That is a guitar that is entirely made out of magnesium alloy. There is not a single piece of wood in that guitar. That's made by now a company, I think it's defunct, I think they've gone out of business. It's a company, it was a company called Ogre out of South Korea. And a little bit of disclaimer here, I actually did some work with Ogre, and even went to Music Massa show in Germany one year as a representative of Ogre. So I was working their booth and everything. So that's how I have one of those guitars. So that's a guitar, you know, everything is metal, quote unquote metal. And you know, so there's no like truss rod adjustment, because you know it came out of a mold, and so the neck is just straight, and whether you drop it, whether it's humid, whether it's dry, the neck is not going to change. It's just going to stay where it's set. The pickups are made by GNB, and if you are familiar with the PRS SE line of guitars, GNB is the company out in South Korea that produces the pickups that go into PRS SE. So it's the very same pickups that's in there. It's got somewhat of a unique tone. It's a little bit bright. So like if I swap out the pickup to something like Duncan Custom 5, it would actually suit better. And one interesting, I am going to actually give away one of those guitars. So if you are interested in winning a giveaway of an Ogre magnesium alloy guitar, let me know in the comments. And you know, due to the shipping restrictions, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to only make that available to contiguous 48 states of United States. So anyhow, let me know if you are interested. Okay, so moving right over. That's a very special guitar. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So knobs and toggle switches all together, there's 13 of them. So it's a double neck from BC Rich. I believe that thing was under 1,000, you guys. It built in Korea, superb quality. Just a banger of a guitar. The top portion of it is a 12 string guitar. The bottom is the 6 string, and lots of tonal variation, bunch of options. Basically the guitar that Lita Ford plays when she does like the Close My Eyes Forever with Ozzy. So it's that kind of a vibe. Absolutely a great guitar. Now, due to the way it is, it doesn't come out of the case all that often. I don't get to play it a lot often. It's a little bit of a hassle to get everything tuned too, because you know, there's a total of 18 strings to tune when I want to sit down and play. So but you know what, I love having that guitar in my collection. I probably won't get another double neck. I mean, why do I need one? So that's just a great guitar. Something you don't see every day. All right, then we'll move on over. One that is sitting at a little bit slanted angle right here. That is a Strandberg OS6, also a multi-scale guitar. And the fretboard and the neck, Enduro neck, which is their very unique profile. The neck's all bird's eye maple. The body is flame maple top satin finish, Duncan pickup configuration, and very unique tuners that are common to the headless guitars. That thing with all the cutouts, it's very ergonomic. That's one of their big things. So you could have it like this, like you would normally. You can have it on your lap, like a la like a playing classical guitar. So there's a bunch of different ways to get that thing to contour to your body. And with the multi-scale, you have different options there in terms of, you know, a lot of people think that's for ergonomic reasons, but it's actually doesn't have anything to do with ergonomics. It's for string tension management and so on and so forth. So that's a great guitar, very light by the way. I don't think it's even 3 pounds. So we'll move on. One right next to it is the Ormsby Goliath GTR6. So it's very much is like the Strandberg is sitting right next to it, not far apart from it. But the multi-scale, the parallel fret doesn't happen. So let me see on this guitar. Yeah, so the position of the parallel fret where the fret would be at a normal 90-degree angle. That happens at the 12th fret on my DCM 600 from Keisel, but these two also have different fret position where the parallel fretting happens. Extreme angle of the pickups. The pickups are, by the way, Delacreme and what's the name of the pickup? God dang it, I forgot again. But oh well. But the top wood is beautiful, and just overall, that guitar is beautifully made, you guys. And because of it being an import from Korea, it's well below 1,500. I think I got that for about 1,200. I made a deal with the dealer, and just beautifully playing guitar, very comfortable, huge tone. If you have been if you have been considering to pick up a multi-scale or Ormsby Goliath, what have you, I recommend highly. All right, then moving along, this is it's obviously a bass. It's Tom Araya of Slayer signature bass. I picked this up used. I think I got it for about $100 from a guy that needed some drop money. I think that's what it was for. Anyhow, so it was in a rough shape, and I kind of didn't care. I just needed a bass, cheap bass that I could use very occasionally. So when I use it is whenever I make, if you see my gear chat videos, I make the backing tracks. I track backing tracks so that I could lay the guitar part on top of it. So often I need a bass to do the bass parts. That doesn't mean I know how to play bass. I actually don't. All I'm really doing is I'm just holding down the root notes and some variation that goes along with the drum patterns to kind of thicken up the bottom end of a little audio sample that I make for the guitar videos. So that's what this is used for. $100. It works fine. I like the way it looks. It's great. All right, so with that, we'll now jump onto the acoustic guitars in my collection. So this guy right here is a Martin D28, just a straight up dreadnought. Huge tone, huge, absolutely huge. So if you're in like a church band, things like that, worship music, you can't go wrong. Just a huge soundboard for it to just project tone and great playing guitar. It's a Martin. It's a dreadnought from Martin. Can't go wrong. All right, so one next to it is a Taylor 618 Grand Orchestra. So that has a huge bottom, and it's one of the ones that Andy Powers, one of the first ones that Andy Powers made after Bob Taylor kind of sort of handed down the throne. So it's got a lot of Andy Powers' input. It's got spruce top, flame maple side and the back, so it's a little bit bright in tone, but it's huge sounding, whether you're strumming it, whether you're fingering it, and first of all, fingering it. It's it's awesome. I love playing the guitar, and the fact of the matter is I play acoustic guitar a lot more than the electric guitars, because I just bust one out and I just start strumming and humming along and what have you. Good times. Okay, so one next to that is the Grand Auditorium series. That's an 814 CE. So it's got the new electronics for the pickup system, and the back bracing is a slanted angle. The pick guard is solid rosewood. Just an awesome piece of instrument. It's a Taylor 814 Grand Auditorium. It's basically what put Taylor on the map. Just a huge tone, great for strumming along and while you're singing. So it's good tonal balance if you're a singer-songwriter and you're singing while you're playing, and so on and so forth. Great guitar, and just one that I'll probably keep until I no longer live on this earth. All right, so before this gets a little too morbid, let's move right along. One right next to it is called the GS Mini from Taylor. Don't call it Baby Taylor because I think they have another model that's actually called Baby Taylor, which may be slightly bigger than that. So that's a Mini. I got that because my wife said she wanted to get a guitar to learn. So and she's tiny little thing. She's 4'11", so she's got tiny hands. So I went and got the tiny guitar. Of course, she gave up after about 2 sessions. So now it's just one of my guitars. Mahogany back. No, it's not mahogany. I think it's a Sapele back and side. Spruce top. Huge tone for a guitar being tiny. But because of the shortened scale size, if you have a smaller hand, it's great to learn on, play on, and just overall an awesome guitar. One right next to that is an Ovation Elite Standard. Very like late 80s vibe, Bon Jovi, Young Guns, Dead or Alive, that kind of a vibe. I've had that guitar for almost 30 years now, you guys. I bought that, I believe, in like 1989, 1990, maybe 1991. I saved up a lot of money from a first job that I had washing dishes and whatnot. So over the years, it has aged. It has gone through hell and back from all the moving and all the weather changes and everything. Only the top is wood. The bowl is, it's the plastic composite, if you are familiar with Ovation guitars. So it's one of those. It's very bowl cut on the back, so it just kind of sits very comfortable. Satin back. I've had it for that long, and probably the guitar that has the most mileage from my collection. It's always hanging in my home office, and I bust that out very often. All right, one next to that is it's a nylon guitar. I don't know if that's classical or flamenco guitar. I actually don't know. I don't remember. Matter of fact, as I was busting it out of the case today, I noticed one of the strings has come off, so I'm gonna have to restring that guitar. By the way, I've never restrung nylon before, so that's gonna be good times. But I got that because I wanted to do some finger arpeggio work, which is one thing that I actually do a little bit better than actual electric guitar playing. I don't do, I can't do sweep picking or hybrid picking, chicken pick, whatever, all these different techniques. I can't do any of those. But straight up classical guitar playing, I could do a little bit. So I got that, and I enjoy busting that out all the time. Because there's playing experience is a lot different on nylon guitar like that versus the steel string acoustics. So overall, all good times. All right, so that wraps up tour of my guitar collection. It spanned over 5 different episodes. There are a couple guitars that did not make the video because one, that I couldn't get off the wall, 2, a missing PRS SE, which I don't know where in my house it is. So there are a couple, and one guitar, like a little junior guitar from ESP, which was my son's guitar, which I'm gonna sell, so it didn't make it to one of the videos. But there you go, all 5 episodes, going over all the guitars that I have. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It took me a bunch of effort and time to put these videos together. Literally hope that I get a little bit more views, honestly. Normally I don't really care about number of, I'm not a slave to the numbers game in YouTube, obviously. I just do it for my love and passion and just kind of sharing with you guys. But because I put so much work in and so much time, hopefully I get some more views. All right, so that's it, and I will be back with you guys either with another episode of Chronicle of a Serial Guitar Buyer, doing something different than collection, or a gear chat with one of the newer guitars that I've gotten. Either way, hopefully I get back to you soon. That's it. Thank you for your time watching. I've been Triple G. You've been awesome. Be good humans. Until next time, peace.